Mega Man X8, and before I decided to pretty much skip the last two stages. We were going to go hunting him for extra items and such. The Panda Guy, the forest theme stage, and the Burn Rooster from the Fire Base stage, because I think I got pretty much everything I'm going to want from both of them already. So we were about to tackle the final stages of the game at last, but something came up when I reloaded the game to do this episode. So this looks to be one of those intermission bits, and this one is forcing us into the volcano where Burn Rooster was. So what have we got here? I should have known it was going to be these mechanics. Okay, well, honestly, it kind of sounds like that's something we could pretty much do anytime we're about to fall into a bottomless pit to prevent us from dying. We could just teleport ourselves out. But who knows, maybe there was significance there in what Pallet said, that I'll teleport you back here. Maybe that's the thing. You actually have to notify base to get you out. So yes, he says what we're gonna do here is just find out how far down this hole goes. It's just gonna keep getting faster and faster, I guess. So this is kind of a nice way to get extra medals. Okay, yeah, it's definitely in faster. Oh, then it slowed down just now. That's because all these platforms are gonna fall. I wonder if dying from taking too much damage from being caught at the top is going to count. There's no need for that.
Good job out there.
Okay, so before heading off to the final fight, let's get all the usual stuff, and also was that one item that I've been wanting. Yeah, definitely spare energy, all that. Oh, well. Oh, the metal discount, yeah, that's it. Because I imagine I'm going to want to return back here to keep buying the life tanks and spare energy, all that stuff that are disposable. Yeah, it was the metal discount R&D chip thing that I got in a while back that I thought was really expensive for 5,000, but in the long run, since this gives us a 10% discount on anything, that was going to be really nice. Everybody, I guess, has pretty much got life up to the fullest, so let's save that. What I remember, the first bit of the first section of the final stage was actually pretty interesting. It was going up the uh, dimensional elevator. just take Kaylee because we hadn't seen her in a while.
The orbital elevator is used to transport equipment into space. Good luck out there.
Yep, I'll need it. So, this kind of reminds me of if you saw it from, I don't know, several years ago, when I did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 on the NES. This is going to be kind of a gauntlet stage, just going up a long elevator, and there was a section like that that I always thought was really interesting. And this is this guy. Well, looks like my laser's capable of handling it. Honestly, this kind of looks like a job for Axel. These random soldier Maverick guys coming out a few guys at a time every stop. I take on several enemies with lesser HP along the way. Yeah, this is a pretty cool stage, I guess. And this seems to be working out okay. The Magnum Bullets, that's definitely not going to be ideal right here. The flamethrower, however, be really nice right there. Oh, I guess they're bringing out bigger guns now. These guys with jetpacks. Okay, this must be like the more impenetrable shield where I gotta get behind them in order to... I don't know, kind of like this ice gun right here. So let's try that for a while instead of the laserish gun. And I think we encounter Vile for the last time at the end of this section. Oops, I did not realize I was standing on the very edge there. I kind of thought I was good since there, I come across a section where we stopped and I thought the enclosure that I had ascended up into, where we were stopped and we're gonna fight some guys stationary for a while. I thought that was gonna hold. Well, that's nice that they don't start you at the very beginning, although I probably couldn't blame them if you did have to get through this whole thing in one go, because I mean, it's really not that hard. I've always bumbled around at the latter 4 X games, X5 through X8. Even though, again, I do like X5 and X6, I do not begrudge the games for being hard at all. Okay, yeah, this guy is going to be in my way now. Crap. Or no, he's not. I guess the explosions from the enemies that... When the enemies explode, that's enough to take out a shield, but my weapons aren't. So yeah, I'm taking the escape boost feature. I just bought at the R&D lab. That was going to be in handy right there if I got caught by those. Oh boy. Laser. Even that guy turned around in time. Can I like knock them off? Well, I don't know what that charged up version of the Panda guy's weapon was supposed to do, but I think we reached the end here, so that's why he automatically disappeared. Here we are.
You're struggling awfully hard for a world that's doomed.
So, it was Sigma pulling the strings the whole time, wasn't it, Vile?
You finally piece it together, X? The orbital elevator, the energy, the space minerals, the rocket data. The route to
Well, I don't know anything about space minerals or rocket data.
is ours.
I don't care what you plan to do. I'll put a stop to it no matter what.
Yeah, I know, Vile. I'm too weak and naive and idealistic to be successful in that, even though well... Okay, yeah, that weapon is not going to do me any good. Let's not play around here.
Leave it to me.
Unfortunately, that laser keeps me up in one place a little bit too long. Somehow I dodged his attack that time by just kind of sliding underneath at just the right angle. And yeah, this is what's gonna not be very easy to avoid damage on. I'm sure there is a way to easily do it, I just don't know it, utilizing some kind of weapon. And actually, I wonder if Earthrock Trilobites wall would somehow kind of crystal wall, yeah, that's it. No, that does not seem to in any way. Oh, I got my spare energy. Hopefully this will be enough to do it. Yep. And he ran again. Crap.
You got through that stage as if it were your own backyard. Nice work.
Yeah, if I die in my own backyard, sure. You could say that. Okay, let's recover whatever we lost. Spare energy, that's always good. Yeah, I'm not interested in the dual attack thing. You know what, actually, just in case somehow that's actually just that one kind of weapon you don't think too much about that's at your that's been at your disposal this whole time. That'll actually be what makes the very final battle of the game a lot easier, but you never found any use for it before then. Much like how I don't think it was until Ixion and Lantis did a Let's Play on the first four Mega Man games. Mega Man X games. They went through all of them like in 2012, 2013, and when I watched them do Mega Man X2, that's when I learned for the first time ever, and probably the 10, 15 times I played through X2 in all my years, that the wire sponge weapon, no matter how much that looks like it sucks, and it does, it's one of the lamest special weapons ever in an X game. It turns out that's actually what makes the final battle against Sigma so much easier. He seems to have so much less HP. The part of the battle where it's just like that giant wireframe head, which is like his, I don't know, pure virus form, something like that. All those times I played X2 before seeing that as a child, I had tried to do it the hard way with just the only other thing that seemed to be able to damage him was X's charged up blast. None of his other special weapons or regular Buster Shot.
So, you heard about that?
None of those had any effect on him, so it was like 100 charged up blasts that would finally do him in. I needed a lot of HP, a lot of energy tanks to get through that.
Tried to use me to destroy the world.
And those very same LPs that Ixion had done with Lantis as a guest through the first 4X games, because those were the only ones he was willing to go through. I guess he pretty much hates everyone after that. Can't really blame him. That's when I said, I'll in 2013. Oh, okay, well, I'll finish him up for you. I did X5 and X6 right away because I actually do like those games overhaul. And then it took me several years to have the guts to finally do X7. Because I just hated that much. It took me a long time to get the guts to finally get back on that. And finally here we are finishing up with X8. I did kind of like that little cutscene between Zero and Lair. It's just, I think it would be a lot more, I don't know, I could find a lot more meaning in it if it wasn't for the fact that Zero's already had like 2 or 3 other love interests before Lair, or potential ones, people that seemed to have a crush on him, and he was just completely oblivious to it. I'm not even sure he actually realized that Iris liked him, and he always just thought of her as like a little sister. I mean, of course, thus he would be in anguish when he had to fight and kill her in X4. And then apparently this whole time, I didn't realize it, Dr. Seal, who's actually human in the Zero series that I think comes chronologically immediately after the X series. Yeah, she likes Zero. He's kind of a pimp. Didn't even realize it half the time.
Here I come.
Well, since we just had that cutscene with Lair, which, in spite of what I just said, again, I just liked it. It was a nice touch.
Ready.
Let's take her along.
There's something evil in here. It must be Sigma. Everybody be careful.
Well, Sigma is pretty much the epitome of it. At least in this universe. That's one of the things I really found interesting. I really found compelling in the story of the X series was that you can look at it as Sigma actually being just a victim himself. And Zero was, well, I mean, he was the source of the virus, right? Because he was created by Dr. Wily, and I think the virus is, or at least can be looked at in a way as it's just Wily's, just lingering hatred that's going to continue on in some form or another after his death. Just the mere force of that, his hatred for humans and the human race and Mega Man. And he created Zero's ultimate weapon just to be able to finally get, fulfill his one purpose. If he can't take over the world, where he is going to make sure that he at least makes it known that he is better than Dr. Light and has created someone more powerful than Mega Man. Thus, but in that really good cutscene in X4 that I think is really pivotal. It's where Sigma was originally a Maverick hunter, and he finally went on to take on Zero himself, who was like the original Maverick. And the virus transferred between the two in that fight, and Zero turned good, per se, and Sigma's like pretty much the new source. He continues on. He is the virus now. It's like whatever made Zero inherently evil, well, that kind of made Sigma so right then. And I wondered if it's not really because you could see it as Sigma being a tragic victim in that in that case, but really, I've always wondered if it's been pretty much Sigma had that innate malevolence all along that just made him a right candidate. Maybe he was just looking for the perfect time subconsciously to become the ultimate source of evil in this world. Thus, you really can't feel sorry for him. It is just like the, fate giving him what he wanted with the virus being transferred to him and him pretty much becoming so. With Zero from then on remaining on the side of good, even if something of an anti-hero, even though Zero was originally yeah. Well, you know what I'm trying to say. I never say these things very well, especially in the midst of trying to do an LP at the same time without sucking tremendously. But yeah. Unfortunately, I let that fight go on too long with Axel. So he's permanently out until I lose a life. And that weapon's not going to give us anything. Or that form of attack. Let's try that. Well, that got him pretty good. It's just, in terms of trying to make sure he's hit with it, I don't know if this is going to be doable. I guess the drawback about spare energy, which is why, despite how useful it seems that it's giving you all that extra life, the reason it's so cheap is because, well, you can't activate it when you want to. It's going to be in the very next life that you're playing on. Okay, well, that attack really gets him. that sword attack right there. Unfortunately, it's... if you got your finger on the directional button at all, it's going to end up making you do the wrong one, the dash attack, instead of the big arcing slash. You have to be standing like perfectly still at the moment you press the special attack button for this. It is nice though. Let's let Zero recover some of that energy. Well, wish I'd done that in the very beginning. Yeah. I wonder what that was supposed to mean. I guess that was like a regular Mavericks, I don't know, somehow getting the ability to copy the Maverick bosses, and that's kind of explaining, you know, why it is, like in all these games, towards the end of the game that you actually have to fight all the bosses again. Well, this is saying, well, yeah, we actually have like regular Reploids being able to use, you know, Sigma's copy DNA powers in order to mimic them. It's not actually the bosses themselves that you are fighting all over again who somehow survived the first time or something like that. Okay. I'm guessing Flame Burner is going to be what we want for this. Let's let Axel recover that. Like I was doing Ryu's Shoryuken uppercut. Actually, does he have... well, that's not gonna do it. Oh yeah, this guy's getting me good now. Ah. It's gonna be close. And this is gonna make it way harder. All I had to do was pull off 1 or 2 more hits on him once I got back to 0, so here we go. Okay, so we got the Panda guy, Earthrock Trilobite. Oh yeah, I forgot. Bamboo Pandemonium. That was his name. Which, as silly as it sounds, it's awesome. And the Ice Space guy, whatever his name was. And now we have a Gravity Antonian, I believe his name was. All right. Whoops. Oh, I can reflect that back onto him? So it looked like I was doing there when he tried to chunk it at me. I actually hit it right back into his hands to where he had to try throwing it again. So far so good, but I know this guy is about to get a lot harder, especially since I don't think I can really go near that black hole. Not without being restrained in some way. Hopefully that, when I got captured by that one thing, the escape boost power up I bought at the lab assisted in that and get me out of there quicker and not taking as much damage. And Axel is recovering a little bit, it looks like. I think we'll have Axel take the energy boost there. And this must be Burn Rooster considering the color. Now, are they weak to each other's weapons, the ice guy and the flame guy? Looks like it. I don't know, for some reason I do like his little martial arts crane kicking combo right there. And how that actually, I mean, it's not like he's really trying to hit me with it, it's just his way of summoning fire to attack me with. For some reason I like that. Okay, well, terrain just got a little bit complicated. But it looks like this is working out, as long as... surely not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen, as long as I can't actually be crushed into the ceiling by these pillars going up high enough while I'm standing on them. Ooh. Fortunately, it looks like he was pretty much invincible that whole time. It's kind of cool how he tries to get up like, nope, I've got a second wind, but eventually succumbs. Alright, well let Axel recover quite a good bit of health there, and let's Zero take the health item. We have 3 left, I believe. What does blue represent? Oh, God, friggin' Gigabolt Man-O-War or whatever. Well, if he's going to be up in the air a lot, it's probably best I just try to get Axel for this. And that just happened to be a good guess I had the first time. Oh, Ice Gatling. I thought I'd switched to Ray Gun actually. I thought maybe the Magnum would have been his weakness. But no, he's also weak to Axel's ice attack from, you know, what's his name, as well as Burn Rooster was. Actually, Ray Gun might have been the weapon that I did get from this guy in the first place, so... Ooh! Well, I can't deny, that's... pretty nice attack. I think I pissed him off. And somehow that did a lot of damage, just my regular Huh. Wish I'd stuck with 0 the whole time then. Never mind. I'm guessing it wouldn't have normally been his weakness, just a regular sword. Just one of the abilities that I got from another boss just kind of changed the properties of his sword naturally and permanently. I mean, it's kind of like that. 0 doesn't necessarily get like another special attack just from defeating a boss, you know. At least as far as, to my memory, at least X4 goes, if not every X game since. But he'll maybe only get like 3 or 4 actual moves, and others will just be more like additions or actually some kind of defensive, some kind of defensive ability. All right. Oop. Let's see what Axel's got to take him out. Actually, what's that? Whoa, let's not use that. Wasn't the Magnum Bullet the item I actually got from him? Okay, Ray Gun seems to do a decent amount of damage and sort of stun him for a minute, so that's got to be the intended weakness, I guess. And if it keeps him off of my butt to where he can't get up in my grill and do that attack where he's siphoning HP from me, well, okay. Whoa! I knew he was about to do a giant arc of some sort, and I just did not get out of the way in time. I was hoping to just keep damaging him with the special weapon and stunning him out of it, I guess. That's what I was subconsciously thinking. It's gonna be just 0 now for this last guy, though. Oh, and that was the very first boss we defeated, Optic Sunflower. Totally forgot about him. And hopefully the escape boost will also be useful at this point too, in case I get captured by that thing. Because I remember that was kind of my bane the first time I tried to fight this guy. Well, at minimum, it didn't seem to do damage, and I could swear it did. As well, or maybe its sole purpose was to carry me over into one of his attacks, because I'd be completely helpless to dodge or anything like that. And if I just stayed on top of the platform, I would have been totally fine. And that last attack he did. I'm not going to deny, for the most part, these guys do have, like, cool attacks in this game. And overall, I mean, as silly as the names are, they do, you know, they are still better overall than the names of the bosses in X7. Again, it's kind of like the reason I hate Final Fantasy 13. Like, that's the only game in the main numerical series that I hate, apart from 11 and 14, which I can't judge, period, because I haven't played them being MMOs to my understanding. But Final Fantasy 13 is the only one that actually really sucks. I wonder if I'm actually on a time limit, or do I have time to pick those up? Let's get out of here. But yeah, it was because Final Fantasy 13 was pretty much the worst in every broad category I can think of. And I think the same can be said for X7 out of all the games in the X series, as even as much of a disappointment, I guess you could consider X8, that's only in comparison to the games before X7. It's a vast improvement from X7, so X7 is really the only one I actually think is a lot more bad than good. Every other game in the X series is at least okay, if not great. So, and it's because it's got the worst Maverick bosses, the worst names for them, the lamest attacks, certainly the worst voice acting. Just it's got the worst out of the series in a lot of things.
Can't say I was looking forward to seeing you again.
And I'd forgotten that we actually get the final stages are just it's pretty much just the going up the elevator, and then there's really nothing else except the customary, go through all the 8 Maverick bosses again, and then on to the final boss. Really no gameplay in between there.
Zero. What a shame. You had the abilities and potential to become like me.
You tried to use my DNA. I'll teach you what happens when you mess with me.
I'm afraid not. The moon is under my control, and the plan is entering its final stage.
The plan is, what does that plan really entail other than taking control of the elevator? I guess it was going to take him to the moon where he could breed his new children, or as I remember him calling them, just a bunch of, just like a new generation of Reploids with Sigma's DNA or something like that, and that's how he was going to take over both space and planet Earth. And planet Earth itself, it finally died out because the human race is down to 10% its original population by this point in the Mega Man continuity, I think, especially after the events of X5 and X6. Well, he's got space, so I cannot believe I did not successfully dodge that. I wonder if I can knock him out of that with an uppercut or something. Well, it certainly doesn't really do damage. Oh good, I can deflect him. And I'm guessing he's going to have a really big attack that's going to be near impossible to avoid if I don't knock him out of his shield at that moment where he sounds like he's charging up. Well, Axel's ray gun doesn't seem to be bad there. Unfortunately, I can no longer touch the ground, period. Still managed to get him on the first try. I know that was just the warm-up fight, of course. And that wasn't the real Sigma. Or at this point, I guess you could just call him the original Sigma. Like I said, I think his plans were something like to create a whole new Maverick family, which were all going to be Sigma in some way or another, copy Sigmas. They might not necessarily look like him, but they got his DNA or whatever. Okay, well, that was great progress. Ugh, fly in my face. I've been swatting that out of the way this whole time. Just every now and again, it just appear back in front of me. It's so annoying. I'll just take that for kicks. I mean, I don't know what else I'm going to be able to spend it on since I didn't really use up any of my other than spare energy, which we will always want that. Won't hurt to just go ahead and get them just on the off chance I need it. And if I somehow end up needing BFAM for anything, I didn't get any of the other like extra weapons, not new techniques with a sword or anything like that, but apparently, you know, actual different weapons that Zero can use than his saber. I know I passed up a lot of them purposefully. They were going to be developed from the rare metals I could have gotten in some of the 8 stages as we were doing in the last episode, and I just decided to pass them up because I just didn't really see. But since BFAM's already here, let's go ahead and just get that in case I find that I'll end up needing it for the final battle. And yeah, other than that, great progress throughout this episode, and I think next time that will pretty much be the end of it. So thanks for sticking with me this entire time. It's been 8 years, I think, since I started on X5 after all. But I'll see you next time.